What is going on, you beautiful Texans fans and fans of other teams if you're watching this? Last time we talked about my 2024 Texans season record prediction. This time, I'm going to throw some bold predictions at you guys. And you guys, feel free to comment down below your own bold predictions. And I don't mean like predictions like, oh, CJ Stroud's going to throw for 4,500 yards and 35 touchdowns. That ain't bold, man. That's probably going to happen. Like, make them a little spicy, a little sexy, Like, make them to where they're bold, obviously, but there's actually a chance that it could potentially happen. I also don't go saying something like, oh, Nico Collins is going to have 2,000 receiving yards. Like, come on, the odds of that happening, it's probably not going to happen. So I make them obtainable, I guess you could say. But I have three for you guys. Three bold predictions for the Texans 2024 NFL season. Number one, I have Christian Harris reaches star status and gets a second team All-Pro nod. Now, obviously Christian Harris really came on, what was it, like the second half of the season last year. First half of the season, he was kind of, I wouldn't say really riding the bench, but he wasn't like a significant player on the team. It wasn't until the second half of the season. And then in the playoffs, man, especially that game against the Browns, dude really took off. In the playoffs, he was flying around everywhere, making plays. I think this season, Christian Harris is going to take a step further than that and cement himself as one of the best linebackers in the NFL. Now, I know what you guys are probably thinking, but Sticky, I mean, that seems, plausible. Okay, but when I mean he reaches star status, I don't mean, he's in the realm of the Roquan Smiths of the world. No. I'm talking about prime Luke Kuechly, Bobby Wagner, Fred Warner type of guy. I'm not talking about these second tier inside linebackers. I actually mean like one of them ones, And I don't mean it like as any disrespect to like a Roquan Smith, but I mean let's be real. Like there's clearly levels to it. Like Fred Warner, Roquan Smith. Fred Warner is a completely different animal. So I believe that Christian Harris is going to reach that level of linebacker, and he's going to help take this Texans defense to the next level. Okay, so here's my next bold prediction. I have three, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, but I have three. This one was pretty bold, but I think it's obtainable. Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter combined for 32 sacks alone, meaning just them two, 32 sacks. Danico Autry and whoever else that can get sacks as well. But between Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter, they're gonna combine for 32 sacks. I don't care if it's Will Anderson getting 20 of them, Danielle Hunter getting 12, or both of them getting 16, or, Will Anderson getting 31 and Danielle Hunter 1. But they're going to combine for 32 sacks. Now, I think this can happen. Why? Danielle Hunter hasn't lost a step. The dude's a beast. He's durable. You know what you're going to get out of Danielle Hunter. You're going to get minimum 12 sacks. I mean, you're looking at a guy that's like a 12 to, 17, 18 sack type of guy, depending on how great of a season he had that year. But Will Anderson last year, yeah, his sack numbers weren't like crazy good, but he was a rookie. If you go back and watch Will Anderson, man, he put so much pressure on the quarterbacks. He was always there. Now I'm hearing that he put on a lot of muscle, a lot of weight, or not like a lot, not a lot like in a sense like as the dude was eating hot Cheetos all off season, so he gained like a little beer belly. No, like he put on muscle, and apparently he's been working on his first step. So he's been working this offseason. So I really do think Will Anderson is going to take that next step and become one of those elite pass rushers in the NFL. Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter is going to be what we all thought J.J. Watt and Jadeveon Clowney was going to be. This duo is going to be what the Chargers thought Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack was going to be. It's what the Niners thought, what's his name, Nick Bosa and Chase Young were going to be. So what I'm basically trying to get at is Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter, this pass rushing duo is going to be elite, is going to be nasty. They're going to have quarterbacks running for their lives. I mean, how many teams have two elite tackles? At some point, you're going to have to double team one or the other, leaving one or the other on an island, and one of them is just going to feast. Like, you don't have teams in the NFL, or multiple teams in the NFL, that have two good offensive tackles. It's hard to find one good offensive tackle, let alone two. So yeah, I think this is obtainable. 32 sacks for both Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter combined. And now for my last bold prediction. And some of you guys are going to be like, oh, hell no, it ain't going to happen. But my last bold prediction is Tank Dell will be the Texans' leading receiver with over 1,400 yards. Yeah. It's not going to be Stephon Diggs. It's not going to be Nico Collins. Not on either of those guys, but I just feel like Tank Dell and CJ Stroud just have that chemistry, man. They just have it. Again, I'm not saying CJ Stroud doesn't have it with Nico Collins, because, I mean, we clearly saw last year when Tank went down that he did have that chemistry with Nico Collins. And I'm not saying he's not going to build it with Stephon Diggs, because, come on, let's be real. Stephon Diggs is a good player, and Stroud's going to build chemistry with him. But I just feel like the chemistry between CJ Stroud and Tank Dell is kind of like out of this world. It's Peyton Manning and Marvin Harrison. Like, yeah, Peyton Manning had Dallas Clark as well and Reggie Wayne, but who was this guy? Marvin Harrison. It's like Patrick Mahomes with Tyreek Hill. Like, he's just that guy. And I feel like if you go back and watch that Buccaneers game, on the final drive, when the game was on the line, who was he looking for? Every single time. Tank Dell, Tank Dell, Tank Dell, Tank Dell. And Tank Dell delivered every single time. And honestly, I feel like if Tank Dell wouldn't have got hurt last season, I honestly feel like Tank Dell would have finished with more receiving yards than Nico Collins. Now, I'm not saying, Nico Collins next year is going to finish with like 600 receiving yards and Stephon Diggs is going to get like 700. No, I could easily see all three of them eclipsing 1,000 yards. I could see the Texans having 3 1,000-yard receivers next season. It's not something that we haven't seen before, but I just see Tank Dell being that go-to guy, that number one guy. When Stroud needs to move the chains, Tank Dell. When the game's on the line, Tank Dell. And Tank Dell's a quick and shifty guy. He just gets open easier, it seems like. And he's schemed open as well. So I think Tank Dell is going to be that go-to guy for CJ Stroud. And I think he's going to have over 1,400 receiving yards, leading the Texans in receiving yards next season. And I already know some of you guys are going to be like, oh, no, but Nico Collins is the number one. Oh, no, but Stephon Diggs. Guys, in all reality, the Texans really have 3 number one receivers. They have 3 receivers that are top 25 receivers in the NFL, and I don't even think that's debatable. How many teams out there currently in the NFL can you say have that? I don't think there's a single one out there. Yeah, you have some teams like the Buccaneers that have 2 top 25 wide receivers, like with a Godwin and Mike Evans, but how many have 3? The Texans have 3 number one wide receivers. So one game it could be the Tank Dell game, one game it could be the Nico Collins game, one game it can be the Stephon Diggs game. Like, a lot of people get so worked up about, like, oh, nah, Nico's the one, Stephon Diggs is the one. And then there's little Omi. Tank Dell's the one. No, but yeah, those are my bold predictions for the Texans 2024 NFL season. Comment down below your own bold predictions. And yeah, be sure to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.